Welcome back to Human Unabridged. This is Mike, and I'd like to say thank you so much for your support and welcome to number 2 in the physical resilience videos. This video is all about nutrition and the value of nutrition, and really to summarize, after doing a lot of research for this particular video, I realized that nutrition is way more important than I actually originally understood or believed. I've always focused much more on my physical exercise and really from time to time just stuffed anything in my face, especially having PTSD and substance abuse, and your body will go through these impulse control situations. You'll have cravings, you won't eat for a while, and you sometimes just basically stress eat times 10. Okay, in other words, if you were in front of me now and someone had spilled tomato sauce on your arm, goodbye. Make sure that I give you information that's current and right. I go and I research everything again before I actually present any of these videos. The more I look into it, nutrition is probably one of the reasons why people get so sick, and also one of the reasons why they don't. There's a whole field now of psychiatry dedicated to nutrition called nutritional psychiatry that actually looks at the effects of your diet on your mental well-being, and is trying to sort of evolve and develop a research foundation to support the fact that it's probably clear to me and a lot of other people. So nutrition is an incredible part of your resilience. Okay, if you think about physical fitness, nutrition and sleep, it's very difficult to say which one is more important than the other. However, I think that a malnourished diet will be the first thing that will show up in terms of vulnerability as a community, as a human being, as an individual. When you are malnourished, in other words, when you have a low nutrient intake, your resilience is like that, okay? It goes down. Nowadays, it's obvious that there's a huge connection between what you eat and your mentality. In other words, your cognitive function, anxious, uneasy. These things are heavily affected by our diet, and especially over time as well. When I speak about nutrition, I speak about what you eat every day. Especially if you are stressed, you probably shouldn't go straight onto a diet. It will probably just put you under more stress. But if you are stressed, or you're feeling the impact of depression or PTSD or any kind of psychological disorder, eat a high nutrient diet. Very simply, like the Mediterranean diet. A Mediterranean diet is full of flavor. It has a lot of fruit and vegetables. It's not shy on the fats. A lot of whole yogurt and a lot of dairy that goes in there, but that is very good for your brain. The omega-3 specifically is a type of fatty acid. It has protein in it. It has lean meats. It has fish. It has all kinds of other meats, but lamb. It's got a whole variety of very tasteful foods. Whether you are a vegetarian or not, you can still follow a Mediterranean diet and have a whole lot of variety to what you eat. One thing I will tell you without any doubt is do not eat processed food, okay? Processed food is bad for you, okay? It's almost like poisonous. If you look at the modern world nowadays, and the last research I looked at was in specifically referring to Canada, but you could probably lump the United States in that. 50% of people's diets is now processed food, okay? And processed food is very low in nutrition. It's very high in salt. It's very high in sugar, very high in saturated fats, very high in all the things that you don't need in overwhelming quantities. So avoid processed foods. So try not to stress eat, and don't put yourself under too much pressure also to create this suddenly healthy diet. Try not to make decisions about food when you haven't eaten for a while and when you're going to have impulse control situations. Okay, guys, especially, us, if we're hungry, horny, or angry, we're basically 2 steps away from an orangutan. Okay, so don't make food decisions on an empty tummy where your blood sugar is screaming at you and telling you to do all kinds of things in your subconscious that you're not aware of. You are vulnerable in terms of your biological state because you're hungry. Okay, you've got low blood sugar, you haven't eaten properly, you didn't have a nice breakfast, or you got to a point of day and you realize you haven't eaten, you've been so busy at work. Make sure there's something around you that is healthy to eat. Set yourself up for success before that, and make sure that you have healthy things in your environment, at work, with you, at home, that you can eat if you feel a low sugar dump and you feel like you want to just take a bite into anything. Okay, have something that you can eat that'll cessate that sudden craving, the munchies. All right, and really, yeah, rather make healthy decisions about what you eat. More and more, I'm starting to believe that food is medicine, that it really actually is part of why we stay healthy over time and why we can also perhaps even treat some diseases by changing people's diets. If you are stressed or if you have some kind of a physiological condition, eating high nutrient foods acts as an anti-inflammatory. It's going to be good for you. It's not going to do you any harm. It's going to help you to get better. Whether it's a psychological illness or a physical one, or you're recovering from an injury, eating healthy foods is one of the things that you can do to improve your recovery. So eat high nutrient foods, okay? Especially when you're under times of duress or in adversity. I've always looked more at physical fitness and physical exercise rather than nutrition. And I actually regret that, because although I've had a relatively healthy diet through my life, I realized that if I had eaten better ingredients, prepared meals better, and completely avoided processed foods, I could have performed better. I could have done better. I could have been more healthy. I could have avoided some illnesses, perhaps even some injuries. And also maybe my psychological state would have improved more rapidly over time, because it's very clear now from research that what you eat will affect your psychology. It will affect your cognitive function. It will affect your mood state. So how do you eat to resilience? Or what is resilience eating? Resilience eating essentially is having a Mediterranean type diet. In other words, a diet that has a lot of variety. It's very full of flavors. You're not short of flavor or enjoyment in your meals. It has fruit, it has vegetables, it has whole grain carbohydrates, and it has a lot of protein. So although I've been a vegetarian for 2.5 years, well, I have been at a time of my life a vegetarian for 2.5 years. I'm no longer a vegetarian. I do eat some meat now. I've never tried to just only eat meat or tried to be a vegan. So I'm not criticizing either of those modalities because I don't know anything about them. And I'm sure you can still retain some form of health in either. I would argue veganism probably more so than the carnivore diet. And that's simply because I don't believe that you can get all the nutrients you need out of one source of food, out of one intake, okay? Which in the carnivore diet, it's mostly red meat in my understanding from the people that I know that have done it. Don't get me wrong, people have lost a lot of weight on the carnivore meat-only diet, and they've also improved their health in some instances. But I still think that having fruit and vegetables is critical to your health, okay? And having the right kind of nuts, the right kind of legumes, all of those foods, very healthy, natural foods that you can, if you have enough space and time, grow on your own, all right? In terms of the health aspects, Mediterranean diet is essential. Don't stress eat. Don't put yourself under too much pressure. Don't go on a diet, okay? Don't diet, especially if you're feeling stressed. I don't believe in dieting in terms of the fact that look at your food in terms of whatever I put in my face now is going to make me better or worse, okay? It's going to help me to gain weight and strength, or it's going to help me to lose unnecessary weight, okay? It's going to help me be healthier. It's going to give me longevity. That's what I'm putting in my face. Every now and then, it's good to have a comfort food, a big fat slab of chocolate or a pie or a brownies. Listen, do any of you have brownies? Because I could actually do with a brownie right now.